over in the TikTok world, and we are setting up. Good morning, YouTube. How are you? We are live today, both on YouTube and TikTok. I know we announced nothing on the YouTube side, but I thought, well, what the heck? Let's go ahead and go. And yay, my audio is turned on. I was just making sure the microphone was on. How's everybody doing out there? What is today? It's March 26th. How about that? Oh, he's still trying to find me?
Oh, I found you.
Yay. All right. So it is Sunday. It is March 26th. I don't know how many days till Christmas. I haven't looked it up in a while, but I'll find out. Don't you worry. I'm going to find out how many days till Christmas. Good morning, Christy.
It is 14 days till the Scarlet Lady.
It's 14 days until the Scarlet Lady. That is the most important thing. We're going back on the Scarlet Lady on April 9th. You know, you guys still have time to join us if you want. It's just a 5-night cruise. It's going to be a short one, but you know, you'll get opportunities to eat everything. Good morning, Jessica. How are you? Good to see you. Good to see everybody. I hope everybody's having an amazing day. Absolutely amazing day. It is 274 days until Christmas. How about that? You're right. It is. Yeah, we're actually sailing on Easter Sunday, aren't we? Mm-hmm. We didn't even know that when we booked the cruise, but we're sailing on Easter Sunday. So, yes, our second time on Scarlet Lady, and that also reminds me, especially for those of you over on the YouTube side, I'm going to show you the graphic. We are still selling, we're still booking our Valiant Lady Thanksgiving cruise, November 18th, 8 nights on the Valiant Lady. You're going to have plenty of time to eat everything that's on that ship, so it's going to be absolutely amazing. So if you haven't booked with us yet, you should. Hey, Nurse Tara over on YouTube. Good to see you. Good morning. So if you're new to the channel, I am Walter. I'm a travel agent. And as always, I'm here with my wife, Rebecca, who's sitting off camera. She is the brains behind the operation. I just like to sit on camera. And we are full service travel agents. So we book cruises and land tours and theme parks and group cruises and weddings and oh, you name it, we book it. So how is everybody doing? And this is all about you and your questions and whatever you want to talk about. I'll bring up some cruise news as well, or some travel news. Hey, good morning, Michael. How are you? Good to see you. Thanks so much for joining us. So if you've got any questions or concerns or anything that you want to know about cruising or travel in general, feel free to pop it in there. I'll do my best. I try not to get too deep into the weeds during these conversations, but as always, feel free to reach out to us to set up a time. Our services are absolutely free, and we like to say that your memories are priceless. So for those of you on TikTok, just simply click my logo, and then you'll see a link tree. And for those of you over on YouTube, again, just go into our About page, and you will see all the information on how to contact us. Hey, Tristan over on YouTube, how are you? Good morning. Hope all is well in your amazing world. Some of the things, Kelly Banks, what were our thoughts on Sky? I know I've been trying to catch up on our Sky Princess content. The Sky Princess was gorgeous, okay? Absolutely stunningly gorgeous. Right, Rebecca? What did you say? Yes. Oh my God, our first time on a Royal Class. So this is our 5th time on Princess, our first time on a Royal Class ship. It did not disappoint. For one thing, the food, okay? The main dining room was definitely a step up from all the other cruise lines that we've sailed since the restart. Now, we had a little bit of an issue with Sabatini's. You're going to see the episode coming up soon. The first half of the meal was really good. The second half kind of fell apart. But how Princess reacted to it and how they handled the situation actually made the whole thing smooth over, because dining captain actually found us the next day, and we resolved the whole situation. So that was really good. But Sky Princess, very impressive. And we had the medallion, and we had an interior cabin which was 185 square feet, which was a good size cabin. It was basically a balcony cabin without the cabin. So that was really, really nice. So if you are thinking about an interior cabin, you know, if it's in that, say, 165 square foot up, that is a good sized cabin. So over on YouTube, Nurse Tara says, you got very interested in Virgin after watching our Scarlet Lady review. You hope that they're going to sail out of New York sometime soon. Now, Virgin Voyages currently only has the 2 ships, but by the end of this year, they will have 4. So we're going to have Scarlet, Valiant, Resilient, and Brilliant. Now, Brilliant is actually going to launch in San Juan. So there's a possibility that maybe it could go to New York. You know, people on the West Coast are also saying we want it to come to the West Coast.
And it's possible one of them may have a one or two off cruises out of New York, like Scarlet Lady did when she first came over.
This is absolutely true. So yeah, I would expect, Virgin Voyages, maybe not so much 2024, but definitely 2025. You'll probably start to see the ships moving around. Like some people have asked, oh, when are they going to Asia? When are they coming to the West Coast? So maybe we'll start to see that. So best time of the year to travel to Scotland, probably any time would be my guess.
I don't know about the middle of winter.
But yeah, probably any time but the middle of winter.
And it depends on how far north in Scotland you want to go to.
Exactly.
I went one time, I want to say it was the middle of March.
Yeah.
But I didn't go any further north than Edinburgh. So
there you go. So
it was pleasant then.
I would say spring to summer. Spring to summer, probably going to be your best time. Nurse Tara, you're taking your first cruise on the Celebrity Summit in May. Yes, that is awesome. Welcome to the cruise family. I'm very excited about that. I'm glad that our information has helped out. Oh, so excited. Anytime somebody takes their first cruise, that's one of my most favorite things. Any cruises that don't leave the United States? Well, they all have to because of the laws. The only one is the Pride of America. So if you fly to Hawaii, you can do the Hawaiian Islands, and that ship does not leave the United States.
There's the river cruises that go up and down the Mississippi and the Snake River on the West Coast.
Yeah, so American Cruise Line, they and anything that is an American river cruise, that's not going to leave the United States. American Cruise Line does the Northeast, they do the South, they do all the American rivers, and they do Alaska as well. So you could certainly take some of those. I think only about 200 people maximum.
I don't know about the Great Lakes one, if technically they get to Canada or not, but there are some Great Lakes
I don't know.
ones.
And then Viking too does the river stuff. So that would pretty much be it. But in terms of an ocean cruise, it's going to be Hawaii. That's the only one. They have to at least port in another country for, I think, minimum 2 hours. So if they're leaving out of the United States. Lisa asking about the Encore, the Norwegian Encore. We've not been on the Encore, but we've been on the Getaway and the Escape. Great ship. Absolutely great ship. Royal Caribbean Independence of the Seas, worth it. Yes, that is a Freedom class ship. Really nice ship. You're going to get your promenade. You're going to get the ice skating rink. You're going to get all that fun stuff. So, yeah, I would say absolutely worth going on. Certainly a lot of fun. And, now the thing, main dining room is going to be, it's going to be okay. It's going to be pretty good. The Windjammer, we found the Windjammer buffet on the Symphony of the Seas really, really good. So I think you're going to have a good time. And the shows are really, really good, too. So you're going on your first one on the Independence of the Seas. Yes, you should have a great time. So over on YouTube, you would ask me, Anna Loring is asking me about Windstar cruises. We have not been on Windstar. They look amazing. Those are basically your sailing ships. They look absolutely beautiful. We do not personally have any experience on them. If anybody on YouTube or over on the TikTok side has experience on Windstar, please chime in. They look gorgeous. I would like to do a Windstar one day. That's on our list. My list is about 40 cruises long now, so pretty soon.
It keeps getting longer the more you...
It keeps getting long. Every single time I book somebody, I want to go on that cruise with them. Over on TikTok, going from Jersey to Bermuda in November, I'm thinking the weather will be too chilly to swim. Well, on the ship, when you first leave from New Jersey, yeah, it's going to be cold on the ship. But once you get down to Bermuda, it just depends on the weather. We've had, when we went in, when were we on the Symphony? Yeah, in December, we were in the Bahamas, and that really bad cold front that came to the United States also affected the Bahamas. So it just depends. It could be hot and it could be...
I would say that probably the ocean will be cold, but you may be good with pools.
Yeah. So taking your first cruise in July out of Galveston. Fun. I love it. Anna is going on your first Princess cruise next week. Yeah, I have my little Princess mug with me. I mainly bought it because of what it says on the back, which, by the way, I now have a T-shirt that says this. So if you'd like a T-shirt, if you're on YouTube, you can go into the About page and find our store. Or if you're on YouTube, on TikTok, just click my little logo and find the link tree. Good morning, Jennifer, over on YouTube. How are you? Good to see you. Zach is asking about thoughts on the Icon of the Seas. It looks insane, doesn't it? It looks absolutely insane. I was reading something this week that the ship is going to have, I think it's 1,000 tons of water on the upper decks for all the water features, and a typical ship has 150 to 200 tons of water. That's a lot of water up on the top of the ship, and as you can imagine, it has brought engineering challenges, and they've kind of redesigned how they designed the top of a ship specifically for the icon of the seas. So I think it looks amazing. Now, that is a family. If you're like, well, I don't want to have a lot of kids on my cruise, that's going to be the wrong ship for you, because that ship has more multi-people cabins than pretty much any ship before it. That means cabins that can hold 3, 4, and 5 people. I think some of them can hold 6 or more. So that ship,
the big one that can hold, I think 8 or 10.
8. It can hold 8 in the big family townhouse.
Yeah.
So that is the thing about that ship. I think it looks amazing. If you're a fan of water slides and water features, it's going to have that massive swim up bar as well. So it looks like they're trying to cater to the adults as well. I kind of like what they did, where they moved all of the children's water stuff to the very back, and then they created an entire neighborhood around that. I think that's actually very clever. So that, I don't want to say that gets the kids away from the adults, but it does. The kid, all that kid stuff is down low, and then the adult stuff is up high. So I think it's going to be awesome. I think it's going to be awesome. Flower Child, how are you? Good morning. Thoughts on a short 4-day for a girls' weekend? Well, if you want it to be all adults, I would certainly look at Virgin Voyages. They have plenty of 4-night cruises. It's going to be 18 over, and you get to go to the Bimini Beach Club, which is, to me, that is the best. It's not a private island, but I think it's the best private cruise line resort out there right now. The sand is gorgeous. The water is stunning. And if you go on Virgin Voyages, I mean, all the food's included, the Wi-Fi is included, gratuities are included, your soft drinks are included. So all you got to do is pay for the alcohol. And if you book before March 31st, you're going to get $300 towards the alcohol per cabin. So I would certainly lean into Virgin Voyages for that. And then you could... I think beyond that, maybe Celebrity. Well, no, Celebrity doesn't have 4. So beyond that, Royal Caribbean, maybe, like a Mariner Overseas.
Yeah. I think Celebrity does a couple of 5s, but I don't know about any 4s.
Yeah, I don't know about any 4s. So, yes, Nurse Tara, if you have not seen it yet, she's saying that the swim up bar sounds really cool. If you haven't seen the pictures of it yet, certainly, just Google Icon of the Seas swim up bar. It's big. It's really, really big. Then they're going to have that suspended bar as well. That's going to be super cool. So that's what I would do. Let's see. You've been be thankful to you. Oh, that's a nice handle. I like that. Be thankful to you. Good morning. How are you? You have been on Royal, Carnival, Norwegian. What other ships that are good? Thinking of MSC or... Did you see the rest of it? Okay.
It got cut off. I don't know that.
So Royal, Carnival, and Norwegian, those are family-based cruise lines. So if you're looking for another family line, I mean, really MSC is going to be the one. But if you're looking to, say, graduate up, I just did a podcast with Tony from La Lita Loca. We talked cruising for about an hour. So if you haven't seen that yet, what a joy. But it was literally what we were talking about. You've been on Royal, you've been on Carnival. What's the next step? And we were talking about Carnival Princess Virgin being that next step, kind of elevating. And if you're looking for like a really good food game, the Virgin Voyages is still the best food, period, out there. If you're just looking to get a more adult experience, but, I don't really know if I'm going to like Virgin Voyages, I would try Celebrity first and Princess right behind that. I think you might enjoy both of those. Celebrity is a little bit more that casual luxe feel. Princess is definitely a little bit more traditional of those two. So, hey, Ben's Life, you're on Brilliance of the Seas now. Awesome. Welcome to the show from the seas. You are right where we want to be. So, oh, Nurse Tara, you watched that podcast last night. Wasn't that fun? Tony just reached out of the blue and said, hey, do you want to do this? Tony's such a nice guy. We met under unfortunate circumstances a couple of years ago, but we got a chance to hang out with him for about 2 hours. And what a lovely person. I would really love to cruise with Tony and Jenny sometime. And very thankful to Tony for reaching out for that. That was really, really nice. Thanks, Jennifer. On YouTube, Jennifer Cohen is saying that's how she found this channel. Thank you so very much. And again, for those of you new to the channel, I am Walter, and my wife Rebecca sitting right off camera. I am a travel agent. We own Where's Walter Travel. So if there's anything we can do to help you guys with your travels, we are happy to do so. And as always, our services are free. Okay, end of commercial. Back to the show. D Tag on TikTok, your first cruise with our kids. Also, first Disney cruise. Disney is a fabulous cruise line, which, by the way, is a good cruise line for adults, too. They do a really good job separating the kids and the adults. They have an adults-only area. They have a whole adults-only like nightclub area in the back. And surprisingly, they do a good job. Like you can be an adult and go on the cruise.
And their kids clubs are so good that, I mean, a lot of the kids don't want to leave the kids clubs.
No, they don't. They don't. And the food is really, really good. Now one of the things, some people are like, well, they have set time dining. I want anytime dining. The set time really does work. They do rotational dining. So I think all of the ships have 3 main dining rooms, and each night you're going to eat in a different dining room, but your servers come with you. And that's actually really, really nice. And I really enjoyed it. The only thing is if your itinerary calls for Animator's Palette twice, I thought the second show where they have you draw things and then it all animates was okay. That's a good night to do Paolo or Remy or whatever the specialty dining is on that particular ship. But the first night in Animator's Palette, if your ship has that, would crush. A lot of fun. So Disney is a great cruise line. Great cruise line. Hey, SeaWorld with Chris, how are you? Karen is asking, can you pay cash before
Yeah, if you want to
disembarkment. So sorry.
Pay your bill. Yes, you can.
Yes.
But I would not wait till the last day. You can even set up a cash account when you board.
Mm-hmm.
You have to give them a certain amount of cash, and when you get down to a certain level, they'll make you put more cash in your account. But you absolutely can.
Yes.
I would go to guest services, maybe not the first day, but the second day, and just check what the rules are on paying cash.
Yeah, so guest services are going to be completely jammed when everybody's coming on the ship. And then that very last night, it's going to be completely jammed again. So if you want to pay cash before disembarkment, maybe do it the morning of the last full day, before it all jams up at night. I love Nurse Tara over on YouTube, says she is dragging her husband on a cruise for the 18th anniversary. She got a good chuckle on Tony's podcast when I talked about I absolutely did not want to go on my first cruise. And it was our 10th wedding anniversary. And Rebecca just basically said, I'm going on the cruise. You can do whatever you want. And I was like, all right, fine. And not only does she book her first cruise, it's 14 freaking days. 14 days.
When I booked it, you were on board with
I was on board when she booked it, and then I changed my mind, and then she's like, screw it, I'm going. And so I went, and by like the second or third day, we booked our second and third cruises. So yeah, so have fun, Nurse Tara, and tell your husband he's going to have a great time. So Kip Foot, thoughts on the Enchanted Princess. So we just did the Sky Princess, and that is also a Royal Class ship. Absolutely beautiful ship. Alfredo's Pizzeria was amazing. If they have gelato on that ship, I think they do. It's really good. Sabatini's, like I said, you're going to see the episode soon when I finally get to edit it. It was a good meal. First half of the meal was great. Second half, it all kind of fell apart, but they made good. And Crown Grill is a restaurant we were going to skip because when we were on the Crown Princess, we had an okay experience, but they have elevated the Crown Grill. So it's really good. So beautiful pools, great crew. They still got amazing shows. They did 3 complete original musical productions in the theater. I don't know how the cast can memorize the lines and all the choreography for 3 shows in 1 week, but really good show. MSC gets mixed reviews. Yes, you're saying you did not have a good experience. MSC, it usually comes down to customer service. That's usually what I've heard. And food occasionally.
But it's funny, like the regular cruising experience is probably about 50-50, whether people like it or hate it.
Yeah.
The yacht club, I'd say about 95% of the people who go in yacht club love it.
Yacht club, if you know the Haven on NCL, yacht club is that same idea, ship within a ship with a butler and all of that. And SeaWorld Chris is going on Meraviglia in 9 weeks. We are definitely going on an MSC cruise probably in May, June, maybe July timeframe. I definitely want to try it out. I love Kayla's question on TikTok. Can I rank the specialty dining restaurants that I've been to? Actually, I have an episode. I have a TikTok episode and a YouTube episode where I did this, but far and away, Remy, on the Disney Fantasy. Absolute best meal I think I've ever had, period. Then below that, I'm going to put like the Wake and Test Kitchen on Virgin Voyages. Really love those. In terms of like the mainstream cruise lines, Food Republic is one of my favorites. That's on a Norwegian cruise line. And what else is out there that I've real? Oh, Rudy's Sea Grill on the Carnival Mardi Gras absolutely blew us away. It was so good. I was not expecting that on the Carnival Mardi Gras. So, and then I got to say, Crown Grill was quite impressive. And hats off, memoriam to Cuisine, the original Cuisine that used to be on Celebrity before they turned it into Le Petit Chef. It was like Food Republic, really. It was a tapas style restaurant that was so good. So that was one of our favorites at overall. But actually, like I said, there's a TikTok episode and a YouTube episode where I actually ranked them. Probably need to go back in and redo that.
Yeah, because we've been had a few more meals since then.
Yes. So Nurse Tara over on YouTube, good question. What are my thoughts on NCL's food hall? You like the concept? They're getting great ideas from VV. I don't know that they're necessarily getting the ideas from Virgin Voyages, because a lot of people are like, oh, they're getting this idea. Virgin Voyages is taking a lot of great ideas from everybody else. And keep in mind, the CEO of Virgin Voyages is from Disney. So you might notice that some of the things they're doing are very similar to what Disney used to do. But the food hall, I have not been on the Prima or the Viva yet. But no, and Tara, there is Food Republic, which is the tapas restaurant, and then there is the Indulge Food Hall, which is on the Prima and Viva.
And Christy just had a quick question. What is tapas styles? It's just small plates.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. I just assume everybody knows. So tapas is just small plates. So instead of getting like a whole entree of this thing, you get like one or two small bites. And then so you can order a whole bunch of things and try a bunch of things versus just getting one big thing. So the NCL Food Hall is looks like a great concept. I think they're doing it better than Virgin Voyages, because Virgin Voyages, you need to flag down a waiter, whereas in the Indulge Food Hall, they learned from Food Republic, which is you order with a tablet. That's the one thing that Virgin has to do. They need to switch it over so we can order from phones.
Rumor has it they now have little stands on the tables in there with flags that you can raise.
She's talking about Virgin Voyages.
Yes.
Virgin Voyages supposedly now has little flags.
So maybe that will help. We'll find out in 2 weeks.
So yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Ashley, you haven't heard many people speak about Disney cruises, but heard the quality is great. They are. They're absolutely amazing. They're probably worth every penny you pay for it. The food is outstanding. The service just a step above. The cocktails, they have some of the best cocktails at sea, and they have some of the most beautiful ships and the most beautiful cabins at sea. So
I would say they're worth the cost if you go when the kids are in school, because then the cost is reasonable.
Yeah, the cost is a little bit more reasonable.
When kids are out of school and it's like double or triple other cruise lines, I'm less certain there. That's an individual choice.
You were on the Beyond in January, a floating museum. I'll tell you what, the Celebrity Beyond, we have heard so many things, not only about that ship, but also, everybody knows Captain Kate is on that ship. Captain Kate is just an amazing representative for the cruise industry. But I have heard time and time again, the crew on that particular ship is a step above every other ship out there. Because, when you go on a cruise ship, you're going to get really, really good service. But I have heard from multiple people that it starts from the top down, that there's something about how Captain Kate manages that ship. Everybody elevates their game. So I'm really looking forward to going on there. Beck LW, how good is Wi-Fi service on Carnival? You're cruising on the Sunshine. I can only go by my experience on the Mardi Gras, and it was good for the most part. When we got down by the Dominican Republic, it dropped off a bit, but Carnival has announced they're switching over to Starlink. So that will improve the service, and Starlink, there's like a dead zone in the Caribbean that Starlink has been launching more satellites. So I think they said by the middle of this year, they're going to have the satellites up, or by the end of the year. So that's going to get better.
And does Carnival have a timeline for the Starlink yet?
They do. I just don't remember what it is. So you're going on Royal in May for free. Free cruises are always awesome. Your kids love the Disney. I bet they did. I just want a Symphony of Seas. What's the next level from there? Wow. So it depends on what you're looking for. If you're looking for that more adult experience, I would say Celebrity Virgin Princess. That's where you want to go from there. Certainly on Royal Caribbean, it's going to be Icon. That's going to be your next
And
step.
if that wasn't your first Royal Caribbean, you've done a bunch of them. There is a reciprocal loyalty program
Yes.
stuff for celebrity.
Yes.
So that might be something to consider if you're a high enough level on Royal.
Yeah. Any info on MSC headed on Seascape in May? So as I said earlier, we have heard 50-50 if you're traveling in the regular sections of the ship, but if you're in the Yacht Club, which is their version of the Haven, we've heard very, very good things. We are going to be traveling on MSC in sometime May, June, July. We haven't booked it yet. They go out of Port Canaveral, which is only 55 minutes away. So we're just going to book a cruise and go run and have a great time. So yeah. So I can't give you a lot of personal advice on MSC, but we're going to be heading out there soon. The ship is gorgeous. I mean, absolutely gorgeous. Any advice on Liberty of the Sea to Bermuda? Just have a good time. I mean, it's a great ship. You're going to have ice skating and a flow rider. You're going to have water slides. The Windjammer Buffet, they seem to have elevated it, at least based on the Symphony of the Seas. The main dining room is still, I mean, it's okay. You're not going to go hungry. I still hate Sorrento's pizza. I tried Sorrento's pizza again. So I think you're going to have a good time. It's a nice ship.
The kids do seem to love that.
The kids love it. The kids absolutely love it. Anybody who says that a particular cruise line is not good means that they had a bad experience on that particular ship. All the cruise lines are good. All the cruise lines are terrible. So just keep that in mind. Just because you had a bad experience on a particular ship doesn't mean everybody else will. So I never generalize and just say this cruise line is bad. It's just you're going to have varying experiences. Just always keep that in mind.
Maybe wasn't a good fit for you personally.
Exactly. Like there are cruise lines that not everybody is going to like. Like I'll be honest, I flat out will not book anybody on Margaritaville at Sea. I flat out will not do it. I'll give you the phone number and let you call. But that particular cruise ship, you should not be going on it because it's a waste of money. And if you haven't seen it yet, YouTube, Cruise with Ben and David, they just did an episode on that ship. And I think they pretty much outlined why I will not take responsibility for any clients going on that
But
particular
even
ship.
they did say that while the cruise wasn't for them, it may be perfectly fine for someone else.
Yeah, exactly. So over on YouTube, have we ever traveled on Holland America? We went on the New Amsterdam. Now this was pre-pandemic, and Holland America, what they've done since we've sailed, they've added Music Row, and so now they've got a Rolling Stone nightclub, they've got a BB King Blues nightclub, they've got Lincoln Hall, even a partnership with Billboard magazine. So they really stepped up that music game, and their ships are like floating resorts. It is a very traditional style of cruising. You know, it's not that freestyle, fun-loving kind of a thing. It is definitely a much more traditional. The ships are gorgeous. The pools are gorgeous. The service is really, really good. So, oh, hey, Haya. So over on the YouTube side, we got Haya, who's one of our clients. How are you? We actually booked them on their very first cruise on Celebrity. And they're looking for a cruise that stays overnight in Key West. I don't know of any cruises that stay overnight because Key West doesn't even want the ships. They actually voted that they didn't want the ships stopping there anymore, but the governor of the state of Florida overruled them. So as far as I know, there are no ships that, at least the main ships, I'll have to look it up. I know a lot of ships stop in Key West, but I don't know of any that actually overnight. I'll have to take a look. It might be like a smaller thing, you know, like maybe an American Cruise Line. They might do it. But I'll have to take a look at that for you. So thanks so much for tuning in, Haya. Good to see you. Good morning to you and Mom. I hope Mom's doing amazing. Good morning, Miss Minnie. How are you? Let's see. We've got, you're going on the Celebrity Epic. You rented a suite. We will be retreat class. Have you experienced?
Assuming they might mean the Celebrity Edge because Epic is NCL.
Yes, so we're going to assume you meant Edge. The retreat class, you know, yeah, you're going to have your own restaurant. You're going to have upper level service. You're going to have priority on a lot of things. We've been in Aqua class, and we love the blue restaurant that comes with the Aqua class. Now you're going to get Luminae, or actually it might be something else on the Edge class, but you're going to get.
It's still Luminae.
Yeah,
like I'm not entirely.
It might be the Beyond that has that one.
They have a sun deck, and on the Edge class ships, that sun deck actually does have a small pool.
Yeah.
On the other ships, it just has hot tubs.
Yeah. So, but the retreat class, I mean, you know, first of all, when you go on Celebrity, you are treated a step above, and then when you go into that whole retreat class, it is just a step above that. So you're going to have a great time. Thank you for the information on the Prima. Yeah, you know, all ships are a little weird, especially when like you're so used to going on, say, a Royal or a Princess, and then you go on somebody else. You're like, "Hey, where did everything go?" Great question, Monica or Monty Phillips. What is a good affordable cruise for a family of 6? So, first of all, Rebecca's already mentioned one thing. If you can cruise when the kids are in school, that is cheaper pretty much across the board, and especially if you have children, because those kids sail free programs, they don't apply when the kids are out of school. They apply when the kids are in school for the most part. And so if you have kids and you're trying to go more affordable, try to cruise. Go ahead. You want to say
And
something?
if your children happen to be in a school system where it's maybe not in sync with the majority of the U.S.,
Yeah.
then you can probably get some pretty good deals.
Yeah, and of course, you know, if you're asking about cruise lines themselves, MSC, Carnival, Royal Caribbean can be a little bit higher, but
Depends on the ship.
yeah, it depends on the ship. And yeah, then NCL, they very often that third and fourth person in a cabin can be a greatly reduced price. So that's the biggest thing. I mean, if you'd like some help with that, certainly just click my little logo. You can set up a time for us to chat. We'd be more than happy. I have exactly the kind of thing I've been doing for multiple clients, especially like their first cruise. I'd put 6, 8, 10, 12 people onto a ship trying to find an affordable cruise. And then there's various ways to do it. You can put more people in one cabin. You can split them into multiple cabins. So depending on the ship and the deal that's running, you know, sometimes I can get you a suite or like a junior suite. You get all this extra room, but you're not paying like a ton of extra money. So certainly have a reach out. We'd love to talk to you. Yes, somebody brought up a good point right there. Kim K. Michelle, Grand Turk is reopening up. As of April 1st, you will no longer have to be vaccinated in order to get off the ship. So up until now, you could go on any cruise that was headed to Grand Turk, but you could not get off the ship unless you were vaccinated for COVID. They are removing that as of April 1st. So anybody going to Grand Turk, you're not going to have to worry about that. Good morning, Stacy. Ground Strap, how are you? Good to see you. Stacy was so much fun. She's one of our clients, and we sailed with them on the Sky Princess. If you have not seen her husband Bill's testimonial for us, it is hilarious. Thank you guys so much for doing that, and thank you for being a client. So amazing. Vicky, your 17-year-old son is going on his first cruise to the Bahamas on Sunshine Monday. Yay! That should be a lot of fun. I've heard a lot of good things. You know, Sunshine, I think, is one of the ones that got fairly recently renovated. So yeah, I've heard a lot of good things about those cruise ships for sure. Christy, that's right. You were on the Liberty of the Seas. Again, Celebrity Epic is probably the edge. Let's see. Oh, Jessica, that's right. We booked your cruise. Yay! Let's see. Scrolling through. Oh, I got another comment over here on YouTube. Oh, Nurse Tara, thank you so much. She said she's going to reach out to us when it's ready to book her next cruise. That's so nice of you. Thank you so very much. We try our hardest to match people up with the right ship, the right cruise, the right itinerary, and the best values. Excuse me.
Did you? There was somebody, Campbell Cove, who asked about. They live in Central Florida. What would be a good first-time cruise experience?
No, I don't think I've gotten down, or did I miss it?
You missed it.
I missed it. I am so sorry. What would be a good first-time experience? And you live in Central Florida. Well, you live in Central Florida. I guess like we're in Orlando, so I guess we're kind of sort of central, maybe north central.
No, we're central.
Yeah. So certainly anything out of Port Canaveral
or Tampa.
I'd probably go to Port Canaveral. You got much more choice of ships, and you got newer ships as well. Out of Tampa, you've got some smaller ships. Like Celebrity has some smaller ships. They're Millennium class, which is beautiful ship. But it just depends on what you're looking for. If you're looking for something that has all that stuff on the top decks, your water slides, your the pools, the activities, all these kind of like really up, and there's things happening all the time. Or if you're looking for a more mellow experience, if you're looking for a more mellow, believe it or not, Virgin Voyages out of Miami, it can be mellow if you want it to be, or it can be super lively. Celebrity Cruises, Princess, certainly going to be a little bit more mellow. If you want something with all those activities, then you're looking at Royal Caribbean, Carnival, and NCL. So,
well, Princess doesn't. They only in Florida. I think they only leave out of Fort Lauderdale.
That's true. They only do Fort Lauderdale, so
which is not a horrible drive from Central Florida either.
yeah.
It's about 3.5 hours.
Oh my goodness. Nurse Tara, thank you on YouTube. She said she liked my vibe and honesty. Really appreciate that. And then Haya says, you're not going to regret it. We have a happy customer in Haya. So we booked Haya and her mom on a cruise on the Celebrity Millennium Constellation Summit. One of those, I can't remember. I'm so sorry, Haya.
I think the Constellation.
I think the Constellation. And we put them on a balcony, and they just wanted some sea days. They're like, we really want to have some nice sea days where we can sit and enjoy the ocean. So thank you so much, Haya. You are just so amazing. You guys are making so many. Oh, God, you're going to make me blush over here on YouTube. Y'all are making such amazing comments. And it was the Constellation. Yay. I see double. I like your handle. Have we been on a cruise with Princess? No. And you're looking at taking your first cruise with them. Yeah, we've been on 5 now. And in fact, our very first 3 cruises were all on Princess because the Love Boat. Rebecca loves the Love Boat still to this day. By the way, they have pretty much the entire library in on their TVs. So if you want to watch the Love Boat, you can watch them. Great cruise line. We just went on Sky Princess. That is part of the Royal class. Oh yeah, that's right. I bought a Princess ship. I've added to my fleet of inflatable ships. So now I have a Princess inflatable. But they're a great cruise line. What I noticed on the Sky Princess, they seem to be loosening up a little bit more. They were definitely more traditional. Your more traditional games, your more traditional events. But on this one, they were cutting loose a lot more. The cruise director staff, I don't want to say that they reminded me of Carnival because that's going like those guys are just crazy fun. But they were definitely cutting loose more. It felt a little bit more like a celebrity cruise, to be honest with you, with some of the games they were doing and how they were cutting loose. So certainly if you're going on a Royal class ship, absolutely stunning. But we have been on, let's see, we've been on the Caribbean, the Sky, the Island, the Sapphire, and the Crown. So we've been on, 5 different ships, and we've had a great time on all of them. Alaska 2024, Celebrity or RCL, Princess. If you're choosing between those two because of your loyalty points, I would go on Celebrity, and I would go on a smaller ship. The Solstice class would be a smaller ship, or if you go down to the Millennium class, that's what I would go with because, one, I think the food's going to be better on Celebrity, but secondly, you don't have time for all the bells and whistles that are on the ship. You really don't. Alaska is more like a river cruise. You're going to be in port all day. You're going to be off the ship all day. So for me, Alaska is all about Alaska. Okay. So given the choice of that, unless you're talking about a small royal ship, like a Jewel of the Seas or something around that size, then maybe Royal. But if you're talking a bigger ship that has, all the stuff on the top, I would go with Celebrity and I would go with a smaller ship. Rebecca? No comment. She's stunned to silence.
I'm sorry. I was reading ahead.
And then Nurse Tara asked on YouTube, did Princess model themselves after the Love Boat? No, actually, the Love Boat modeled itself after Princess. Princess existed before the Love Boat. And but that's how a lot of us were introduced to cruising.
And the show was loosely based on biography by one of the first women to be a cruise director, because up until recently it was very rare to have a female cruise director.
So Scott's asking on TikTok, do I have a favorite ship or a cruise line? Well, I've always said my favorite ship is the one I'm on now. So a month ago that was the Sky Princess, and in a couple of weeks it will be the Scarlet Lady. I really don't have a favorite ship. They're all just so amazing. There's some that I might have a little trepidation before getting on. And then it's like, once you're on it, and here's why I say I don't really have a favorite ship, because the crews are what make it. Okay. The ship doesn't really, it's very important for us to get you on the right ship so that we match you up with the right vibe and your expectation. But the crew on every single ship, that's what makes your vacation. It's just it's like you're coming home. It doesn't matter what ship you're going on. It's like you're coming home. They're so happy to see you. They're taking care of your every need. So that's why I love it. So I don't have a favorite ship. I don't even have a favorite cruise line. We've been on 8 of them so far. My goal is, if we can do this, is to cruise every single cruise line, because I am all about variety. I really do. There are 325-ish cruise ships right now. There's 75 more coming out over the next 5 years. That's a lot of shit. And I know some people, I'm loyal to Royal. I'm only NCL. I'm only Carnival. I'm only this. And I get that. You get perks and you get to move up the ladder and all of that stuff. But to me, variety is the spice of life. So I like trying out new ships. I like trying out new things. Do we like some of our cruises more than others? Absolutely. My favorite food is going to be on Virgin Voyages. So that's basically why we're going on the ship in 2 weeks. We have a group cruise coming up in November. And if anybody wants to join us on that group cruise, please come along.
Thanksgiving cruise.
Yeah, absolutely. So, oops, and I turned on something. Hold on. So sorry. I'm just fixing one thing. Thank you. There we go. Got it. Yeah, so we've got a group cruise coming up in Thanksgiving on the Valiant Lady. Now, if you can book it before March 31st, you're going to get a $600 bar tab. $600 to put towards your drinks if you book by March 31st. And you're going to get minimum or up to $300 in onboard credit plus more for joining the group. So that's my favorite foodie ship. And then beyond that, I mean, I just love the ship. I really do love the ship. Hey, Danielle, how are you? My partner in crime, how are you? Conflicted, really like the sunshine. That is awesome. MSC Pier Runners, I love it. Or Pierre Runners. No, it is Pier Runners. I love it. Great handle. MSC Seaview Yacht Club Mediterranean, 30 cruises on Carnival. Time to try something new. Exactly. Just, you got to try it. My goodness, you're going Yacht Club on the Seaview. Now, the Yacht Club can be the same price at balconies on other cruise lines. It's amazing.
Particularly the interior Yacht Club room.
MSC has an interior suite that is absolutely, like, it's big and it's beautiful. So you can look into something like that and pay the same as to some of the other balconies over there. So
and Sean and Steph have been in the Caribbean, but they've been in the Yacht Club a couple of times. So you can go back and look for the old Sean and Steph.
Yeah,
MSC
they have been on the Yacht Club. So yeah, absolutely. And Nurse Tara says she's loyal to her husband, and Jennifer says yes, go with variety. If TikTok gets banned, I will be on YouTube. All these lives will move over to YouTube for sure, and Facebook as well. So we'll be YouTube, Facebook, but we're already on YouTube. Where's Walter Travel? In fact, the folks who are watching on YouTube right now can attest to that. And we'll also have lives on Facebook. But I hope it doesn't go away. But if it does, you'll just find us over there. Super Cars and Trailer, funny. Headed out on Navigator of the Seas next week. First time not having the Genie. Thoughts on a smaller ship? So it's just kind of funny. Navigator of the Seas, we're calling that a smaller ship, and it's actually still a pretty big ship. We've been on Mariner of the Seas, loved it. I don't know if that particular one has the bamboo bar, but I love the bamboo bar on the Mariner of the Seas. I think it's a nice size ship. Like I've been saying that we're just on the Symphony of the Seas, and I think they've upped the game in the Windjammer, at least on the Symphony of the Seas. The Windjammer seemed to have a lot more variety. The food seemed to be really, really good. The breakfast is just same old. But lunch and dinner, and Rebecca, there was Indian food for breakfast that you were enjoying so much?
Indian and Asian food.
Yeah, she was loving it. Somebody's asking, MSC matches our Royal Caribbean in rewards level. You have to apply for it. So MSC, and as of right now, Virgin Voyages until the end of the month. They haven't announced what they're going to do after this month. But MSC does match, but it's not an automatic thing. You have to apply for it.
And you have to apply at least 14 days before your sailing departs.
Yeah.
They match not only cruise lines, hotels, and other kind of travel things. So they'll match levels for other things.
Yeah. So just simply Google MSC loyalty match, and you'll find there's a form you have to fill out online, like a status match. So, if you book the cruise through a cruise line, can you switch it to us? Great question, and thank you for asking. The answer is yes, if you do it within 30 days of booking, for the most part. There are some other restrictions in place, but in general, if you book the cruise today, you have 30 days to transfer it to a travel agent, and each cruise line has their own form or their own process. So if you want to switch it to us or you want to switch it to another travel agent, simply reach out to that agent and say, hey, we'd like to switch it to you, and we'll set you up either with the form or the online page. But thank you so much for asking. We would love to be your travel agent. So
and I can't I don't really know the specifics about traveling with a green card still in processing, but if you can't leave the U.S., really doesn't matter where you are. Probably your only option are some of the river cruises,
Yeah.
or the Pride of America in Hawaii.
Yeah.
There really isn't anything out of Florida that will.
No, because the moment the ships leave from Florida, they're going out into international waters, and they're all going to other countries. So, and how are you, Nikki? Maybe I can't remember. Good to see you. You're going on Oceania for a cruise to Rome. Rebecca's mom is going there. What, next month? May. Going May. Oceania is a very good cruise. We've not been on this cruise line yet, but they are kind of a. I put them like around Celebrity, maybe a step up from Celebrity, because they have
a step up.
They have inclusions and things like that.
Not a whole lot of inclusions, but it is a small ship experience. Gary Bembridge has been on Oceania, so you could
that's true.
Tips for travelers.
So Gary Bembridge, the godfather of cruise advice, tips for travelers on YouTube, and actually he's Gary Bembridge on TikTok as well. He had been on Oceania, I think, a few times. He's been on well over 100 cruises. So I would go to Gary's channel and just look up Oceania for the most current information from him of what it's like to cruise. But they are a little bit of a step up, certainly. And then, of course, you graduate up to Viking, maybe Azamara after that. So,
and I would say I may have some information from my mother after she finishes.
That's true.
That's
cruise. True. We will pump Mom for information when she gets back. Hey, Tim, treasure everybody. Tim just went on his very first cruise on the Celebrity Solstice. He reached out. He wanted to go on his first cruise, and we're already talking about his second cruise. So, Tim, check your email. I sent you an email last night. Let's talk later. Thank you so much for the kind review. That was amazing. I'm so glad you had a good time. What a beautiful ship. So, what is the best cabin position? That's a great question over here on TikTok. And by the way, I do see that we've got 63 messages stacked up on TikTok, so just bear with me. I try to get through everybody, and Rebecca jumps ahead to look at comments moving down the line. What is the best cabin position? So for me, it's the aft. I like the aft balcony. I really love, in fact, both of us love that aft balcony because we like the wake. I like sitting back there and watching the wake. So if you have no qualms at all about seasickness or anything like that, I like to be higher, and I like balconies more toward the back of the ship.
And one of the important things for us is always have cabins above us and cabins below us.
Yeah, always look at the deck plans. Always look at the deck plans. Like Virgin Voyages has a lot of suites on deck 14, but if you look at deck 15, the gym is right above you. I don't want the gym right above me. So you always want to have cabins above and below you. You don't want to have anything noisy. If you are prone to, or if you're concerned about motion sickness, seasickness, anything like that, middle of the ship and lower is where you want to be. But for me, the best, if you're asking me, what my favorite, the back of the ship looking aft. I love that. Navigator of the Seas thoughts. We talked about that a little bit already. Any recommendation for a Mississippi River cruise? So American Cruise Line has really impressed me. They've got beautiful ships. I want to say around 200 people each. So, you hear about Viking doing the Mississippi River cruises, but American Cruise Line, we now represent them. We also represent Viking, but American River Cruise Line seems to have some really good itineraries. And yeah, we're talking about Mississippi here, but Alaska, they've got some great itineraries in Alaska, and you're only talking like 170 people on the ship. So very, very small ship that can go to ports that the bigger guys can't go to. So I would look at American Cruise Line, and if you'd like us to help us with you on that, just certainly click our logo. We'd be happy to do that, or go to where'swaltertravel.com. We'd be happy to help you out. So Rosie Girl, what is our next cruise to? We are just going to Cozumel and the Bimini Beach Club. We're going to be on the Scarlet Lady. And then in November, we're doing a full Eastern Caribbean on the Valiant Lady, St. Croix, Puerto Plata, San Juan, and the Bimini Beach Club. That'll be 8 nights. So if you want to join us on that. Yes, Danielle, can't wait for VB. Great question on TikTok. Explain onboard credit. Good question. It's basically cash that you can spend any way you want on the ship. You can buy drinks. You can buy gifts. You can do shore excursions. You can buy specialty meals. Now, some cruise line will allow you to use it in advance. So if you get, say, $200 onboard credit, you can use it before you even get on the ship to book excursions, dinners, and things like that. Other cruise lines, you have to wait until you actually get on the ship to start using it. But it is cash provided by the cruise line for you to use on board.
And generally, there's different rules for different cruise lines on whether you can use it in the casino.
Yeah.
And you pretty much, no cruise line can use it to book, put down a future cruise deposit.
Correct.
That you have to pay out of pocket for.
Yeah, exactly. So Andrew Park is over here on YouTube. He's asking, he's going on the first cruise, and you're taking a 4-day Virgin Voyage Scarlet Lady. Yes, Scarlet Lady's an awesome ship. What's the #1 restaurant we would eat at again? Also, where is I booted from? So you watch my food review. Well, the Wake is amazing. Razzle Dazzle, really, really good. Extra Virgin, it's a good Italian. It's not the best Italian. The Test Kitchen, I'm actually looking for. Are we doing the Test Kitchen again?
No,
we're not doing the
time.
Test Kitchen.
We will in
that's
November.
True, in November. So the Wake, do both brunch and dinner at the Wake. Absolutely amazing. Razzle Dazzle, we never did dinner. We did brunch, but we're doing Razzle Dazzle this time for dinner.
First night.
Yeah. And the and anything to avoid. That's his follow-up question. Anything to avoid?
No.
Well, the duck in Pink Agave, I thought was the weakest thing I had the entire week. So we're going back to Pink Agave in a couple weeks, so I'm not going to get the duck. But the pizza is amazing, by the way. And I would avoid the galley during breakfast on a port day. I would go down to the Wake or Razzle Dazzle to get breakfast.
Or get a grab-and-go box from
somewhere. Grab it. Now, we're going to try it. I'm purposely going to go there on our first port day, and I want to see if they've improved the situation at all. Maybe in the galley.
Thing will help.
Yeah, we'll see if that helps. But and I pooted. I have a red shirt. So they have Scarlet Night on Scarlet Lady. They say to bring a red shirt. I only have one red shirt. It says I pooted on the front of it. That is from Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends. Used to be on the Cartoon Network. It's the final line of the show when Blue finally meets his brother Cheese. So they did a whole billboard for it in Atlanta, and I had to get the shirt. Rebecca got it for me. Somebody is saying that they did a transfer to a travel agent. Yes, you have to know the real name of a travel company. And again, if you reach out to the travel agent, we can steer you directly to the form and the paperwork. So, oh, my throat always dries out when I do the show. Rana Berman, how are you, Rana? Good to see you over on YouTube. Thank you so much for joining in today. Great to see you. Retired Star Mom, I love it on TikTok. First time going on the Grand Princess to Alaska in May. Any comment? Alfredo's Pizzeria, Alfredo's Pizzeria, Alfredo's Pizzeria. I don't know if they have that particular one on there, but man, the pizza is so good.
Which ship?
Oh, actually, the Grand Princess. They're not going to have Alfredo's. They're going to have slice, so. I think. It's let's see. Comment Sabatini's. Sabatini's is always my go-to on any Princess ship. What else? Oh, Puppies in the Piazza. Hopefully, you're going to have Puppies in the Piazza there. Now in Skagway, we did the Temsco helicopters. We booked that on our own. It was going to be helicopters to a dog sled camp. The clouds were too low, so they gave us the option to do a refund or fly and land on a glacier. So we did that. Amazing. If you're going to Juneau, Harv and Marv whale watching. Can't recommend them enough. Just small boats, 4 to like 20 people, I think is what their range is. Such great guys, and they will get you up close to the whales. And if you're going to Ketchikan, I think it's called Island Air, something like that, but it's Captain Michelle. Captain Michelle is like a world-renowned bush pilot because her safety record is like impeccable, and that's why Rebecca booked her. It turned out the clouds were too low. We couldn't fly that day because she said, 1, for safety, but 2, she said, if I take you up there, you're not going to see anything anyway. And we saw all these planes taking off, and she's like, yeah, all those people aren't going to see anything because the clouds are too low. So those are my 3 big recommendations. So, retired Star Mom. Oh, I just did that. Single traveler. Oh, that's a great question. Somebody's asking about single travelers on TikTok. So, we always go straight to, Norwegian has studio cabins. Virgin Voyages has studio interior, and they have ocean view. Celebrity Edge series has balconies. They have infant
veranda.
Yeah, and infinite verandas for solos. Those are the 3 we just go to automatically. But we recently did some research. We found out Royal Caribbean has a slew of solo cabins. They're just spread out all over their ships. And Holland America has some. So,
but you don't have to necessarily confine yourself just to solo cabins.
no,
but quite often MSC runs deals with decreasing the solo supplement.
Yeah, they're one of the only ones left doing that at the moment, where there's a solo supplement. So if you travel as a solo traveler and you book just any cabin on a cruise, they're going to basically penalize you and say, we want the money for that second person who's not going to be on the ship, because that's how we price the ship. So you could end up paying for yourself and that second person who's not there. You're just
friend.
going to, you're just going to sell. They're just not going to charge you for the port fees and taxes for that person. But then there's a thing called, a solo supplement reduction or no solo supplement. So MSC is running an 80% solo supplement sale. So you pay for yourself and then 20% of that second person. So, but again, if you go on to, some place that has the solo cabin like NCL and whatnot, you don't have to pay for that second person. Now, if you'd like some help with that, like I said, we have discovered Royal Caribbean has a slew of them. We didn't even realize they had so many. But if you'd like to reach out, we'd be more than happy to help you find, a cabin somewhere. Tim, you're here because of my email. Yay! Firefox is asking, aft balconies are expensive though, aren't they? So it is supply and demand. Aft balconies can be more expensive. And in some cases, like on Virgin Voyages, they're just suites. If you go back and you watch our episodes on YouTube and look at our cheeky corner suite, that has a 500 square foot balcony. The balcony was 500 square feet. The cabin was 379 square feet, but the balcony was 500. It's ridiculous. So what Virgin Voyages did, they said, okay, we know the aft, everybody likes it. That's all suites. So yeah, that is definitely a premium. But it just depends on the cruise line, the ship. They can be, they can be 10% more. They can be 50% more. But it is supply and demand because there's a very limited number of them. So, and they do put suites. They do put aqua class back there, concierge class, things like that.
And it's not like we won't travel other places.
Right.
I mean, sometimes it is priced out for us, or
we just did an interior cabin. We've done the junior suite. I think on Royal Caribbean is one of the best values going right now, because it's a cabin almost double the size of a balcony almost double the size of a standard balcony, but you're not paying double the price. You might be paying $400 more or maybe $500 more. But if it's a $3,000 balcony, you're going to spend maybe $3,600 on the junior suite. You're not going to be spending $6,000 on
And
in
fact, we were
really, really nice
doing a proposal for a client where the junior seats were actually like $100 or $200 cheaper than a balcony.
Makes no sense.
Well, supply and demand.
So Nurse Tara asked a great question on YouTube that we get a lot. She said she booked an inside cabin. It's your first cruise and just wanted to get on that particular ship. Should I try to upgrade to an ocean view or a balcony? So that's totally up to you. But what's going to happen is, if it hasn't happened already, the cruise line is going to reach out to you, usually after final payment, like within 90 days of cruise, and go, hey, we have these cabins for bidding. Would you like to bid on this cabin? And what we always caution our clients about, technically, yes, you're going to get a better category of cabin, but what we talked about earlier, you don't know where that cabin's going to be. And once they accept your bid, you're done. That's it. You're going to be placed in that cabin. So yeah, maybe you just upgraded to a balcony that's right under the gym, or maybe you upgraded to an ocean view that's right above the theater, or a nightclub, or something like that. So technically, you're in a better area, but you have no say in where you're going to be. And once they do it, that's it. Your cabin's gone. You're now in this new cabin and you have no choice. So I say, if you're going to have your travel agent do the upgrade and place you into a cabin, yeah, definitely. If you're going to do the bidding process, just be cautious of that. You don't know where you're going to be. So that is the only thing that I would be nervous about with clients doing bidding. That's always my advice. I'm like, if you want to do it, do it. Just understand that you have no control over where you're going to be. So, how is Long Beach Port? I don't know. We've not cruised out of there yet. That is where Carnival sails out of. So, oh yeah, Tim, that's right. We got you what I call the bump out cabin. Yeah. So what that is all about, and I actually showed it. If you go back and you look at my Symphony of Seas Junior Suite tour, the ship is, hey, here we go. So the ship is, it's nice and flat like this. So all the balconies are in a nice line, but there are certain cabins that will angle out. There's certain sections of a ship that angle out for whatever reason. And I like getting those cabins that are on the angle. I call it the kick out, the bump out, whatever you want to call it. You're welcome, Nurse Tara. But whatever, if I can get those angled, because you actually stick out from the ship and you get a nicer view, either looking forward or back, where you don't have to go on the balcony and kind of like do this. You're actually just sitting looking straight out. So when I can put a client on a kick out, that's what I like to do. So do other cruise lines do the cruise next like NCL is a really great deal? The best deal is Virgin Voyages. Holy moly, my next Virgin Voyage, you put $300 down, you get $600 on board credit, boom, automatically, and you get $300 off your next cruise. That's a crazy deal. But yes, all of the cruise lines do some version of that. And I advise everybody taking a cruise, go down to the Future Cruise desk or whatever they call it when you are on your cruise, because they might be running a special. They might be running no deposit, reduced deposit, or something as crazy as Virgin Voyages. They actually limit that to 3 per person because it is such a crazy deal. But you can get 3 of those while you're on the cruise. You can put $900 down and you're going to have $1,800 on board credit on your next 3 cruises. That's insanity. But on Princess Cruises, we were on the Sky Princess with our clients, Bill and Stacy. And I was actually sitting with them in the Future Cruise deck. We got a great deal on a really, I think it's a Mediterranean cruise. So absolutely, every single ship, you should go to the Future Cruise desk and see what kind of specials they have. Hey, that's a great point, Tim. Thank you. You can also tip crew members with onboard credit. I always forget about that. But yes, you can actually do that. Thank you, Tim, for that advice. Are any cruise lines adults only? Virgin Voyages is adults only, 18 plus. Viking is, I don't know.
Plus. I think on all of their cruises, rivers, oceans, rivers, expedition, they're 18 plus.
Yeah. But yeah, Virgin Voyages is the one that we sail on all the time, 18 plus. Plus, they have Wi-Fi, drinks, gratuities, and soft drinks and exercise classes are all included in the cruise fare, every single cruise. So can service animals go aboard? Yes, they can. You do have to coordinate with usually it's like special services, special guest services, special needs, something like that. Your travel agent can certainly help you with that. You usually fill out some paperwork or you do an online form so that they know that the animal is coming. But absolutely.
And we're talking service animals, not emotional support animals.
Correct.
Emotional support animals are not allowed.
Mm-hmm.
And they will have areas for the dogs to use the restroom. And we'll go through a life jacket drill with your dog. I was
just going to say that. The cruise ships are required to carry life vests for the animals. Isn't that neat? Captain Kate showed us that. We had no idea, but Captain Kate showed us that. So that was extremely, extremely cool. By the way, if you like what we're doing on YouTube and or TikTok, please hit the little likes thing so that both of those channels know that you guys actually like what we're doing. It's nice too. So it's nice for me to know that you actually like what you're doing. Sally loves to see. Good morning, Sally. How are you? And again, for those of you who are just tuning in, I'm Walter. I am a travel agent. We host this little Sunday morning deal every Sunday on TikTok, and today we're trying out a brand new system on YouTube as well. So it's a brand new streaming platform. So I hope you all are getting a good picture and a good signal over there. It looks like we lost the signal a little bit, but I am a travel agent. My wife Rebecca is sitting right off camera. So if there's any way that we can help you on TikTok, you just simply click the little logo and there will be links to get in touch with me. And on YouTube, there are links in the about section of us. And when this live stream is done, I'll go ahead and add it to the description as well. But anyway, back to the show. For Royal Caribbean, is the key worth it? Oh, great question. Really good question. So Royal Caribbean has a program called The Key. And it's kind of a way of buying some sweet perks, such as you get priority embarkation, you get to go into the suite lounge before the cruise starts, and it includes Wi-Fi. What else did it include? In fact, I have the sheet in there. It included a few other things as well. So what Rebecca did with the key, she wrote down what the Wi-Fi costs were for the week, and then she watched the key. And when the key actually got close to Wi-Fi, like they really did, they got kind of close in price. She bought it for us. If it never came close to the Wi-Fi, because the Wi-Fi is included in the key, so it's kind of like Princess Plus. Okay, Princess Plus is Wi-Fi, gratuities, and drinks. So I highly recommend it because the drinks are only about $27 per person per day once you factor it all together. So I think the key is worth it if it's the right price.
Yeah.
If it's really high, so what we always recommend, do not look at the percentages. Okay, don't look, because Royal Caribbean is going to go 50% off, today, but the price went up by $10, and you're like, well, how did it go up by $10 if it went down? So write down the actual amount of how much the key is, write down the amount of how much the Wi-Fi is, and every couple of days go in and check and compare and see if it gets close. Then the key is worth it. If the key is really expensive compared to, say, the Wi-Fi, probably not worth the benefits.
I would only honestly do it if it's within a few dollars of what the internet itself costs.
There you go. So Rebecca said if it's within a few dollars. Aaron Ross, hello, good morning over on the YouTube side. Thanks so much for tuning in, and thank you. If you have not seen my discussion with Tony on cruising on Lolita Loca, we did almost an hour chat talking about Princess, Celebrity, and Virgin voyages. Would those be your next step? Like if you've only done Royal Caribbean, Carnival, NCL, where do you go from there? It was a great chat. I thank Tony so much for reaching out. It was so much fun. He's such a nice guy. But yeah, 48 minutes of a discussion. I'm glad you all are getting something out of it. And again, thank you so much to Tony, and we'll see you out on the Lido, Tony. Next time I actually want to do it live. Tony doesn't live all that far from us, so one of these days I need to go do it. Yes, my next Virgin voyage is awesome. Firefox, you're welcome. I don't remember what I answered, but you're welcome. Rachel Claire, if you go to the Caribbean, do you need to use different currency on the island? That's a fantastic question. The answer is no, except Martinique. Martinique still wants you to use euros, but American dollars are welcome everywhere in the Caribbean.
Pretty much.
Steph, wait, some really good questions on TikTok today. Thank you, guys. If you want dialysis, can you board the ship and get your treatment on board? Outstanding question. There is a website, Dialysis at Sea. The answer is yes, you can, but it is limited to certain types of dialysis, and it is also limited as to which ships can support it. Dialysis at Sea has a program with the cruise line, so they can guide you. They can tell you exactly what they can do, and they can tell you which ships you can do it on. So coordinate with them first. Find out which ships you can go on. Then you can talk to your travel agent, and you can go ahead and plan out a ship. And from what I understand, the equipment will either be delivered to the ship, or there may be some ships that have it. So it's almost kind of like renting a scooter, if you will, where you coordinate and you get it delivered to the ship. But dialysisatsea.com, I think it is. Check out that website, and that they will tell you which ships and what kind of dialysis you can do. So, yeah, great question. A good question, Nurse Tara over on YouTube. Do we always get the drink package? You decided against it for your cruise on Celebrity. It was going to cost almost $2,000 for a 10-day. Drink packages are expensive. They really are. But like I said, Princess Plus, maybe. So you just have to do the math. We stopped getting the drink package. We used to, but then we really started to do.
Even when we used to get it, I would make sure the price was
good.
Within a couple dollars of $50 per day per person. If it was much over that, I wouldn't do it.
Yeah. Like we used to think $50 a day was like our break even. Like if it's $50 a day per person, yeah, it's going to be good. But I will say on the Carnival Mardi Gras, it was about $51, $52 per day. We decided, you know what, we're not going to do it. And I know I did a TikTok and I did a YouTube about this, where had we paid for it, it would have been, I think, around $800. And without even trying, I didn't pace myself or anything. We just bought drinks as we normally would. We spent under $300. a la carte.
I will say I was deliberately cutting back on my drinking personally.
Yeah. Rebecca's a slosh. You should see her. Oh my God. We just had to, no, not really. But yeah, so on Royal Caribbean now, one of the great options, and I wish Celebrity had this too. I don't think they do, but Royal Caribbean has the refreshment package. This is fantastic. This is your soft drinks, your mocktails, and your specialty coffees. And that's around $25 per day per person. We did that, or we've done that in the past. I think that's a really good deal because, especially me, I drink a lot of coffee.
Although I think we got that on sale for closer to $20 a person.
Royal Caribbean has a ton of sales, but again, with Royal Caribbean, it's the dollar amount that counts. Don't look at their percentages because it'll go from 40% off to 50% off, but the actual dollar amount might go up by $5. How does that happen? So I think something like that, but you did the math. $2,000 for 10 days. That's a lot of coffee and a lot of alcohol and a lot of mocktails to drink. I would be very curious when your cruise is over, Nurse Tara, when you go back and you do the math, how much you actually spent on your drinks. So it is definitely, you definitely got to do the math. For some people, they're like, I'm proud to drink 15, 20 drinks a day. I don't know how they do it, but they're proud of that. So it works out for them. But for the rest of us, Jennifer, I am going to be continuing on YouTube, and we're going to be doing more on YouTube. We're trying to figure out the best time for YouTube. Sunday mornings don't seem to be the best time for a YouTube live, but because we do it on TikTok, we're kind of live, we're simulcasting it. But we are going to find another night or another day during the week where we can just do YouTube live on its own. Let's see. Tim paid with a debit in Mexico. You encourage asking for prices in pesos. Banks exchange automatically. Awesome. Good one. Hi, is the faster to the fun on Carnival worth it? Again, you have to look at the price for what you're going to get. I haven't looked at the faster to the fun lately because they just brought it back recently. So I don't really have a comment.
I want to say, I don't know what else they include besides priority boarding.
Priority boarding. So
it would really depend on what else they include in that.
Yeah, absolutely. And over on YouTube now, I'm showing you guys that Thanksgiving cruise. I encourage you to come join us. Rebecca and I are going to be on that ship. We're going to be on the Valiant Lady November 18th. We've already got 10 cabins in a group. And when you put 10 cabins in a group, everybody gets extra onboard credit. So we've already got the extra onboard credit. If you want to join on, we're sailing November 18th from Miami. And if you book this week, this is your final week to get the $600 bar tab. That's your coffee, your mocktails, and your cocktails for the entire 8 days on the ship. So that's going to be amazing.
That's shareable amongst the people in the cabin.
Shareable amongst people in the cabin.
You can buy drinks for your friends if you want to.
It's the only cruise line, because they do a bar tab, it's the only cruise line really that I know of that you can buy drinks for anybody. You can buy a round for the house if you want to. It's not like the drink packages on other cruise lines where it's limited to just you. So I would strongly encourage you to come join us on the Valiant Lady for 8 days.
Which speaking of which, if you're doing the math for other cruise lines, you have to do the math for both people. Yeah. Because on most cruise lines, both adults are going to have to buy the drink package.
Yep.
So if one of you is a drinker, one isn't, it still might work out cheaper to do it a la carte.
And in fact, I have 3 adults sailing on Norwegian Cruise Line. One person, absolutely, she's like, I drink water. But she had to buy the drink package because the other 2 people in the cabin got it. Now, Norwegian does a great deal where they give you the drink package for free and you just pay for the gratuity. So it's only $150 for the week. That's a good deal, or $153 for a week. So that's a good deal. But she's like, I don't even want to pay that. Well, she has to. So Tim, you completely disconnected for a week. Nice. You won't pay for Wi-Fi unless you're multi-week. See, for me, the cruise ships are now my office. And I'm happy to say, if you work from home, you work remotely, oh my God, cruise ships are getting so good with the Wi-Fi now. You got your coffee shop, you got breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You got some pools to go hang out. You got your track, you got your gym. You got it's like the ultimate remote workspace. So if anybody wants to start working from a ship, that could be very cool. Very good point. Martinique requires a passport to disembark. So that brings up a good point. Do you need a passport to go on a cruise? For the most part in the United States, the answer is no. Virgin Voyages absolutely requires a passport for every sailor. So if you want to go on Virgin Voyages, you must have a passport. You cannot use a driver's license and an original birth certificate. For most cruises leaving out of the United States, you can use a driver's license and an original birth certificate. It cannot be a copy of it. It's got to be the original with the raised seal. But there are certain cruises that go into the Panama Canal region that we've been looking at. They do require a passport just to get on the ship. Now, Martinique requires a passport to leave the ship. So if you don't have one, just make it a ship day. And we always say make a ship day on every single cruise because you're really going to like it. So can you bring along your own alcohol? In general, it's 1 bottle of wine per adult guest. That's in general. You have to look at the FAQ. And there's also a strict limit on even soft drinks or water. Like Carnival, I think, says 12 cans, and that's it. That's all you can bring on. So you have to look at the FAQ of the individual cruise line. But for the most part, it is 1 bottle of wine per adult. Now, in Europe, P&O cruises does allow you to bring 1 spirit on board. And I've seen some really fun things where there's like 5 or 6 people coming on board and each one brings a different spirit so they can basically set up a bar. That's hilarious. On Virgin Voyages, if you book a suite, you get a full bar in your cabin that will have at least 6 spirits in it. And I'm talking the full bottles. I'm not talking those little minor things. You can go watch my vlogs on YouTube right now and see our Cheeky Corner Suite. We had a whole cocktail party in our room, just the 4 of us, just making cocktails. Actually, we were in George and Christine's room. George and Christine opened their alcohol first, so we just kept going over there, and I ended up bringing 4 big bottles of alcohol home that I didn't even open. So it was kind of cool.
They were also flying home, so getting the alcohol home for them was going to be a bit more difficult.
Yeah. So Birdie's watching. I like your handle.
But for the most part,
yes,
out of the U.S., you cannot bring. You can bring wine, but no alcohol, no beer.
No beer. So. No beer onto the ship. And by the way, I've done TikToks and YouTube on this too. If you buy alcohol in the port, you can bring it back on the ship, but security is going to take it from you and they're going to lock it up until the last night of the cruise. You will get it back on the last night. So don't think you can go into port and just buy duty-free alcohol and bring it into your cabin and just start drinking it. They're going to take it away from you. Birdie's watching. Can you get a cruise book for several weeks at a time less expensive? That depends on the cruise. That depends on the cruise. So Princess is one of the few that actually sells back-to-back cruises as one cruise, meaning you're going to do 7 days in the Western Caribbean, you're going to come back to Fort Lauderdale, and then you're going to do 7 days in the Eastern Caribbean. Princess will actually sell that as one cruise, so that will be cheaper than booking the 2 individual 7-night cruises.
Not generally significantly
No,
cheaper,
but a little bit. It's not going to
bit.
be, just a little bit as a thank you for staying on the ship. In fact, we met some people on Sky Princess. They were on 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 weeks on that ship. It was unbelievable, and I was so jealous of all of them. I just wanted to stay on the ship that long. But it's not necessarily less expensive because if the cruise line doesn't sell multiple weeks as one cruise, not necessarily going to be cheaper. So it just depends on the cruise line. Certainly reach out and ask. All right, looking through here. Yes, Nurse Tara said it looks like we had a blast on our Scarlet Lady cruise. We absolutely did. And this time I am bringing my earplugs with me so I can enjoy Scarlet Night. Scarlet Night is absolutely insane. It is so much fun, but it's so loud. It is like going to a full-on concert loud, and I just didn't have my earplugs. I'm going to make sure I have it in because it's insane. I didn't even get to stay long enough to see the pool party, everybody dancing in the pool. I want to see everybody dancing in the pool this time. I'm going to stay longer. Aaron over on YouTube as well is asking, on Virgin Cruise, are there solo cabins? Yes, absolutely. There are solo insiders and there are solo ocean views on Virgin Voyages. If you book any other cabin, you will be paying double occupancy for that cabin. That is the way it works. But yes, there are solos on Virgin Voyages. Thanks for asking. Is it better, over on TikTok, is it better to bring your own personalized wheelchair versus renting a scooter or wheelchair? That's up to you. I have clients do both. So if you rent one, you rent it through a third party, and they will deliver it either to the terminal or they will deliver it directly to your cabin. That might be more convenient. Like if you're a person who can walk a distance, that might be more convenient for you. But then again, if you have your own, you know exactly how it works. You know everything about it. But you can bring your own. Whether it's better to bring your own or not, that's totally up to you. So I honestly can't answer that. So I apologize. Interestingly enough, though, we are going to the Scooter Round is here in Orlando. They have like their headquarters or something here in Orlando. In 2 weeks, I think it is, we're going over to see like this brand new scooter. And one of the cool things that they have is a motorized wheelchair, but it's beefier than a wheelchair. It can go further, it can go kind of off-road, but it's small enough that it can turn around in a standard cabin. If you have one of those like longer scooters, if you pull it into a standard cabin, you can't turn it around. You have to have an accessible cabin. Well, if you're a person who can like step up into the bathroom and step into the shower, this little motorized chair gives you more options because you can just rent a standard cabin versus having to get an accessible. So it looks really cool. I see double. Is there normally somewhere to park your car before boarding the ship, parking garage at the port? Yeah, there is always parking at the port. Now, how much is available? Going to depend on the port itself. Like I think Galveston has somewhat limited parking at the moment. I know they're adding more, but we've had no issues parking at Port Canaveral, Fort Lauderdale, and Miami, for example. Like Virgin Voyages has a brand new parking garage right there next to Terminal V, which is fantastic. Solo cruiser deals. Again, if you book a solo cabin, that is going to be your absolute best deal. Nobody is running a single supplement, like no single supplement at all. MSC is running 80%. I want to say June to November.
It's June 1st to November 30th.
Yeah, and no qualms at all about sending you out on a cruise during hurricane season. We cruised during Hurricane Irma, which was a Category 5 hurricane when she came through, I want to say 2018, 2019. And we left Miami 3 days before she hit St. Thomas. Now, this was a massive storm. And had we followed the itinerary that we were supposed to, we would have gone to St. Thomas. We would have been there the day the hurricane hit. But of course, the ship's not going to do that. We went straight south to Curacao. We went under the storm. 2 sea days. We got down to Curacao on the 3rd day. And we essentially followed Hurricane Irma back, and we had Hurricane Maria behind us. And it was the best weather we've ever had. If you've ever heard people talk about hurricanes, the weather that comes after the hurricane is amazing for like the next week. And that's what we had. We had flat, calm seas, and we had beautiful sunshine. So Amy, getting ready to board Carnival now. Have a great cruise. Have a great cruise. Courtney is taking your first cruise in July on the Carnival. Valor, have an amazing time. Have an amazing time. You're welcome. Are any different electrical converters needed? Oh, that's a great question. So the cruise lines all have European outlets, and they're going to have American U.S. outlets in the room.
For the most part.
Yeah, for the most part. What we strongly encourage is get yourself, you can get them on Amazon, they're super cheap. Get yourself those European power converters, because especially like on an older ship, you might literally have one of each. And you're like, okay, I've only got two, I got one power outlet that I can plug into. If you bring a European converter, well, now you can convert that European one over to US, and you can now get the converters with a bunch of USBs on it. Now, what I do is I bring actually I've got one sitting right here, but I bring a USB strip, a hub with like 10 ports on it. So I just got to plug into one thing, and I can charge up all of my USB stuff, my phone, my GoPro batteries, my Kindle, my battery, my big battery pack that I have a massive battery pack that will charge up the phone 6 times, I think, something like that I bring with me. So where is this scooter? The Scooter Round. Scooter Round is the one that sells it. I want to say it's Will. Oh yeah, so Rebecca just brought it out. Here's the converter. This is actually an older one, but this is a converter that we have. It'll do 4 different countries. Here it is on YouTube as well. It'll do 4 different types of outlets. So we plug this into the European. I've got a US plug on the back of it, and it's actually got some USBs on the bottom. This is actually like 3-4 years old, and it already had the USBs on the bottom. But you get this, and like the Sky Princess had 2 European outlets. So we plugged 2 of these in, and now we've got 2. We had 2 US, 2 European, so we would have had 4 outlets by bringing this along. So yeah, certainly get that. But yeah, Scooter Round, and the company's called Whill, WHILL. They're the ones that make that chair. Absolutely amazing. I love this thing. I can't wait to start renting it for our clients. Which port in Florida is the most fun to explore? I love Miami. I love South Beach. Okay, I'm a huge fan of South Beach when it's not spring break. Okay, when it's spring break, Fort Lauderdale and Miami are completely overrun. Okay, just so you know, if you're coming down to Miami or Fort Lauderdale during spring break, it's crazy town. But when it's not spring break, I flat out love, I love South Beach. If I could afford to live in South Beach, I would. I'll never be able to afford to live there. But I think Miami and South Beach is just so much fun. Be thankful to you. Can I help with booking cruise? Absolutely. We are full service travel agent. Simply click on our little logo and you'll see the links in there. You can book time with me so we can talk about whatever it is your needs are, or go to where'swaltertravel.com and there's a contact us page. So what we've done is we set up a calendar on our contact page, and you just simply set up a time. We take like 20 minutes, 15, 20 minutes. I get information from you. I found out what you're looking for, and then we will either book a specific cruise if you've got one, or Rebecca and I will do research and find the best cruise for you. But thank you for asking. Yes, we are full service cruises, tours, all inclusives, you name it. We can book at theme parks, you name it, we can do it. You're taking your first cruise on Royal Caribbean Serenade of the Seas in May with your daughter and her friend. Yay! Welcome to the cruise family. I hope you have an amazing time. Aaron, over here on YouTube, you're 46 days till Alaska. Very jealous, very jealous. Ovation of the seas. What were some of your favorite foods at the port? Honestly, we didn't really eat in the ports. But I will say we did a Princess Land tour. So we flew to Fairbanks. We spent 3 days in Fairbanks. We spent 2 days in Copper River. We spent 2 days in Denali National Park. Then we did 7 days on the ship. The best food, if you're asking me, was the salmon that I ate at the Copper River Lodge, because the salmon was caught in the Copper River right there next to the lodge. So, oh my God, best food. Still to this day, I can still taste it. This was from 2008, and I can still remember it. It was just the most amazing salmon I have ever had in my life. So, I don't even really remember any food on land. On land, it was just about just doing things, just having a great time.
We really.
I don't think we did.
Had a snack, but not really a meal.
There was something in Fairbanks that was like part of the deal, but there was nothing memorable that we did on land, because it was all about, the whale watching, the helicopters, the glaciers, the dog sled, the bush planes, and all of that. But we didn't even think about food when we were in Alaska. But
although there are, lots of good seafood restaurants, obviously.
Absolutely. So thank you. Be thankful about the Miami port. That's awesome. Have you ever been out an additional day due to bad conditions in April? Not yet. We were close. We were so close.
And I don't know that it would generally happen in April.
Yeah, in April, that's rare. Although there was like some fog or some bad weather or something that happened.
Galveston gets fog,
but it was February. I want to say that was in February. But when we were on the Celebrity Equinox during the Hurricane Irma cruise, 24 hours from arriving back to Miami was not open yet. And I was hoping, I'm like, please, close the port, because that's free sea day. You don't pay for your cabin. You're still going to pay for everything on board, but your cabin's going to be free. So that's called free cruising. And those of us who are veteran cruisers, we look forward to free days. We've never had it happen to us. We know some friends who have gotten like 2 days extra on a cruise ship because they couldn't come back into port. But Tampa gets fog a lot, so they can have ships come in late. Galveston gets fog a lot, so they can have ships come in late. So you can have some conditions that have nothing to do with a storm, just has everything to do with fog. So, Nurse Tara over on YouTube, have we been to Bermuda? No, we've actually never been to Bermuda. That is very often a cruise port out of New York. They come down, they spend a couple days in Bermuda, then they go back to New York. So we have not actually been to Bermuda yet. So if anybody else has and has some comments about Bermuda, I'd love to hear it. Mariner of the Seas, great ship. Bamboo Bar, must go to the Bamboo Bar, and Izumi Sushi, really good. Any comments on the Icon of the Seas? We did talk about that earlier. It looks insane. She's going to have 1,000 tons of water on that ship. Most cruise ships have 150 to 200 tons. That's how many water features are going to be on there, 19 water features. And I really like that they have put that whole family area in the back, and all the adult stuff. That swim up bar looks like it's going to be insane. I mean, we're going on it. I can't wait to see it. To me, it looks like a Richard Scarry drawing. when I see the ship, those of you of a certain age, you remember Richard Scarry books, and it had all those things drawn on there. That's what it reminds me
I still go with Dr. Seuss.
Yeah, she goes with Dr. Seuss. So, free days will be annoying with flight plans. Well, yeah, absolutely. If you've got to fly somewhere, yeah, your flight plans are screwed.
That's where travel insurance can help you out.
Everybody should travel with travel insurance, and you should absolutely not buy the travel insurance from the cruise line unless you're going on Virgin voyages. The travel insurance from the cruise line is really good if you have to cancel your cruise. Not so good if you actually get injured or something happens while on the cruise. Now, if you book your flights through the cruise line, yeah, that will help there. But we always recommend independent insurance. You can go to insuremytrip.com to compare insurance policy. We represent Allianz Global. That is who we price our insurance through. And typically, the insurance that we quote has $50,000 in medical coverage per person and up to $500,000 in medical evacuation per person. You're not going to find anything like that, even remotely like that, on the cruise line. Plus, it comes with your cancellation, your travel protection, all of that other stuff. So that's what we recommend. Let's see. There we go. Let's see. Get that. Cruising again in 13 days. Equinox, fabulous. Great ship. This is the ship. So the Equinox, you're going to have to do the glass blowing. Let me. I'm going to grab it right now. You got to do the glass blowing. I'm grabbing our glasses. So Rebecca and I made these on the Equinox. It is one of the only ships that has glass blowing on the ship. So we both made these tumblers. I will drink old fashions out of this one. This is Rebecca. Rebecca is purple, and mine is kind of a swirly thing here. You make these. You don't really make them. You kind of blow into the pipe a few times, but the glass person does.
Colors.
Yeah, you do get to pick the colors and all of that. But the Equinox is so cool. You do have to pay extra to do glass blowing. There's only 3 cruise ships that I know of in the entire world that you can do glass blowing.
Equinox, the Solstice, and the other E one from
Eclipse. Yeah.
It.
So yeah, definitely do this. The World Class Bar is my favorite bar at sea. The Good Spirits Bar in Sky Princess was really good, but World Class Bar was really, really good. The shows, you're either going to like the shows or you're going to hate them. The original shows. So my biggest advice is when you go to the theater for the first time to see a musical show for the first time, an original show, sit on the end of the row. In case you don't like it, you can just get up and leave without bothering everybody else. So.
Anywhere that you can leave if you need to.
Yeah. And when on the Sovereign of the Seas, they look like, those small ships. What was the one that was next to us? Vision of the Seas. Mm-hmm. We were on the Symphony of the Seas, and the Vision of the Seas was literally right next to us in St. Martin. Oh my God, did that ship look ridiculous? It looked like I photoshopped the Symphony of the Seas because it was so wide, and it just looked ridiculous next to the Vision. But I really want to go on those smaller ships. They look lovely. Rachel, is the tap water safe for drink on the ship? It is. It is. Although I will say on the Margaritaville at sea, Ben and David said the water had a taste to it, and it shouldn't. But on every cruise ship that we've been on, yes, you can just drink the water right out of the tap. Most people don't.
And it's quite often it can be even better to drink sometimes than the bottled water.
Yeah. So. Kelly is asking, can she cancel insurance? I don't know. I don't know what the policy is.
Generally, no. And I wouldn't get super worried if you bought the cruise line insurance because it will have some coverage.
Yeah, it'll have some.
And as long as you don't, break a limb or anything or need to be evacuated off the ship.
I mean, so just to give you an example, typical cruise line insurance might be like around $10,000 per person for medical and maybe $20,000 for medical evacuation. On a Carnival cruise last year, unfortunately, a woman who has asthma developed pneumonia, and the determination was made on the ship that they could not treat her anymore. She had to get to a hospital. So they disembarked her in Jamaica to get her to a hospital. It was absolutely medically necessary. The woman had no travel insurance. For a medical evacuation flight to bring her back to the United States, it was going to be $40,000 because this has to be done on an air ambulance. You can't just put her on a standard jet and fly her home. And then they were expecting her to spend up to 21 days in the hospital because she had to get her oxygen levels up. So I would say we definitely have to you definitely have to think about, you know, doing the insurance, but you don't have to worry about canceling it necessarily. And you're asking about the website, insuremytrip.com. Okay, insuremytrip.com.
I know for the most part, well, with the cruise line insurance, I'm not sure if you can cancel or not. So you just
Yeah,
have
I do
to
not know.
contact your travel agent or the cruise line.
Yeah, D Dash is asking, what do I think of World Cruises? Yes, that is on the list. A Christmas Marketplace, World Cruise, all 325 cruise ships on the list. Yeah, World Cruises, and there is a big difference between World Cruises. Obviously, you know what's included, what's not included. Pretty much they all offer them now. I think Carnival's one of the few, but if you look, even Carnival is adding. They've got this whole new Carnival Journeys thing that they're adding all kinds of interesting itineraries. Now, one thing to really look at, Holland America has some amazing itineraries that leave from the round trip from the U.S. You can go around Africa from Fort Lauderdale and come back to the United States. And it's like 65 days, 70 days or something like that. You can go all the way to Europe and back from Boston. So, you know, maybe you don't necessarily want a world cruise, but you can do some of these bucket list cruises and they're round trip from the U.S. So, yeah, absolutely. World cruise would be amazing.
And quite often the world cruises are broken down into segments and you can buy just one segment.
There could be 3 or 4 segments of the world cruise, like Royal Caribbean. You can buy, they broke it into 4 segments. So you can buy a segment or multiple segments, or you can buy the entire cruise. So very often they do that. Obviously, the ultimate would be Regent Seven Seas. I mean, they have the most ridiculous. The smaller the ship, the more places they can get into. So, like Regent Seven Seas ships are very, very small. They can get into a lot of places that are not that a lot of the big ships can't get into. So, what 2 months are the best with less kids? Probably January, February, like right after the holidays is going to be a good time to go.
Well, and then middle of September to middle of October.
Yeah, middle of September, middle of October. You like right after they go into school and literally right after the holidays. That's also where you're going to see some of the cheapest cruise prices as well. Recommendations for things to do on the ABC Islands. Well, Bonaire, per Rebecca, has some of the best snorkeling in the world.
I haven't done it yet, but this is what I hear.
Yeah, yeah. So that is definitely something to do there. Aruba, is that where did
we just kind of wandered around, but they do have nice beaches.
Yeah, and Curacao,
from what I understand.
Curacao was a completely unplanned stop. That was our hurricane, so we had nothing planned. So we walked around. What a beautiful place to walk around.
Very colorful.
Very
Dutch
colorful, very beautiful.
Buildings.
So I don't have specific things for you to do in Curacao or anything like that. But
you can. You have that shore excursions.
If you go into my logo, click my little logo, and one of the links in there is Private Shore Excursion. That's Shore Excursions Group. And what's really cool about them, they give you a return to ship and satisfaction guarantee. So they guarantee you're going to get back to the ship, just like the cruise lines. If you don't get back to the ship and the ship has to leave, they will get you to the next port, just like the cruise lines. Now, most people don't realize that is part of the cruise line rule. The ship will not 100% wait for you. If the ship is on a tight schedule and it has to go, it will go. But then the cruise line has to get you to the next port. So that is the same thing the Shore Excursions Group does. But what they do, they will also give you $1,000 per person for the inconvenience of missing the ship. Now, the cruise line doesn't do that. So Shore Excursions Group, if you click my little logo, and if you're on YouTube, it should be in the about or certainly in the description of any one of my videos. So, yeah. So Nurse Tara over on YouTube, a lot of small ships out of Baltimore. Well, Baltimore's a small port, so they can't take the bigger, the newer ship, and nobody's really building smaller ships. But I think that might be where Princess is doing a couple of really cool itineraries coming out. Aaron is asking over on YouTube, is there a difference between Insure My Trip and Allianz? Well, yeah. Insure My Trip is just insuremytrip.com. It's just a site where you can do research, just like an Expedia. You're trying to find.
Yeah, it's kind of a clearinghouse for a bunch of different insurance. So when you put in your information, you'll get quotes from maybe 5-10 different insurance companies. One of them might be Allianz, but there'll be many other ones too.
Allianz is just the one that we represent, and actually it's the one that we use as well. So that's a specific insurance company versus a clearinghouse site that can help you out. Going through comments. You went to Bimini for the first time. It is beautiful, but needs more time to build. Well, actually, I like it just the way it is. It doesn't need anything else. Keep in mind, that's Resorts World, and that is an adult-centric area. And Virgin Voyages built the Bimini, the beach club, and that is an adults-only cruise line. So that's why there isn't much there, and they should just leave it the way it is. Carnival is building, on Grand Bahama. They're building their version of Coco Cay, so that'll be great for Carnival. And in fact, they'll probably go to Bimini less once they have that in place. But in terms of Bimini, that is my 1,000% favorite private resort to go to. I love it. What about MSC? We have not been on MSC yet. We hear mixed reviews. People either love it or hate it if they're in the general, and they love it if they're in the yacht club. But the ships are gorgeous. I hear mixed reviews about the food. We are going on MSC sometime between May and July. I don't know when yet, but they go out of Port Canaveral. It's only 55 minutes away. We're going to go hop on one of those ships for sure. Disney Cruise, fabulous. Excellent service, really good food, and they do true separation between adults and kids. So there's an adult pool area, and then there's a whole adults nightclub area. So absolutely beautiful. Still to this day, the best meal I have ever had. Land, sea, Remy on the Disney Fantasy. Absolutely amazing. So good morning, Twin Flames. How are you? Great question on TikTok. When the ship is in port, can you get on and off multiple times? The answer is yes. Until it is all aboard time, you can come on board and leave multiple times. Like if you're in port, you're doing a bunch of shopping, just want to go drop your shopping off back in the cabin, you can do that. Or want to go back on the ship, have lunch, and then you still got more time, depending on how much time you've got in port. Big thing is be back to the ship at all aboard time. I have seen ships wait 30, maybe 60 minutes, depending on the schedule. The schedules are getting tighter these days. So whereas back in the day, a ship might wait an hour and then put on some extra power to get to the next port. They don't want to do that anymore. So if they're leaving at 4, they're leaving at 4. And if you're not on a ship excursion, they're gone. So, but yes, you can get on and off a ship multiple times.
It is definitely less convenient if it's a tender port, because that would mean multiple trips back and forth on the tenders. But if you're at a pier, easy to do.
Good question. Is it important to make reservations for dining on the Mardi Gras? Did we make advance reservations before the cruise?
Except for Rudy Seagrill, no.
Okay.
So really only the specialty restaurants.
Yeah, just a specialty restaurant. Now, I highly recommend on Carnival that you do the My Time dining if you can, if it's not already sold out. The My Time dining, especially on the Carnival and Celebration, gives you early
Mardi
access.
Gras in the Celebration.
Yeah, the Mardi Gras and Celebration.
You said the Carnival and the Celebration.
Oh, the Carnival and the Mardi Gras and the Celebration, and soon to be Jubilee. If you have My Time dining starting at 5:30, you can go ahead and request a table at La Cucina del Capitano and Chibang, and not Pig and Anchor because that's just open. Whereas if you have a set time in the dining room, you have to wait till like 7 or 7:30 before you can request time in Chibang or La Cucina, and they could be sold out by that point.
Just make sure you have the app, because that was really one of the most amazing things about the Carnival app was whenever you're ready to dine, you can look at the app and it'll tell you, what the wait times are for all the various restaurants, and you just say, this is the one I want. I want a table for how many, and
you can say what you want about Carnival. Carnival has one of the best apps at sea. They really do. And it was just so fabulous to be able to say, we want to, we're ready. You basically say you're ready for dinner. And then just like getting a buzzer from a restaurant, the phone would say, hey, your table's ready. And then you got 10 minutes to get back to the table. I mean, people on Royal Caribbean are lining up. People on Princess are lining up. On other cruise lines, they're lining up. Why are we lining up when we have apps? Just tell us when our table's ready.
And so for any of the included dining, you definitely do not need reservations. But for the specialty restaurants, I would definitely recommend.
And just even going to the main dining room. I want to go to the main dining room. Hey, I'm ready to eat. And then just go get yourself a cocktail, go watch a show, and the phone will tell you when your table's ready.
And there's even an option where you can go, just get me whatever the first table that's available.
Yeah, like whatever restaurant it is.
Any of the included restaurants, and it'll get you the first table.
Say what you will about Carnival, they have the best app at sea right now. They really do. I love their app. It works so brilliantly. If they could combine their app with the Princess Medallion, that would be like the top right there. So, folks, we've been at this for well over an hour and a half. I see YouTube telling me we've been doing this for an hour and 43 minutes. I'm going to have to wrap this up because we do have clients to talk to today. Again, if we can help you in any way, if you're on TikTok, just simply click the logo, set up a time to meet with me. Again, our services are free. If you don't realize that, travel agents are free. It's absolutely free to you. We get paid a commission by the travel companies, whether it's a cruise line, a theme park, expedition, whatever it is. So whether it's me or somebody else, take advantage of our services and our time and our knowledge, and it doesn't cost you anything. Mendenhall Glacier, I don't think you actually get onto. I can't remember which one we flew to. We flew to.
No, that Mendenhall is the one in Juneau that's the one where you got the picture with your father.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, it was really easy to get to. We did it. We did Harvard Mars whale watching, and then they just dropped us off at a park where we could go see it. So yeah, it was actually really easy to get to. But again, if we can help you in any way, on TikTok there's links, on YouTube there's links. I know on YouTube I've had it up on the screen the whole time. Please do reach out to us. Rebecca and I are having so much fun booking your travels. I drive Rebecca crazy because I want to go everywhere with you guys. Every single time you guys book something, especially our client who booked the Christmas Wonderland cruise, I swear I'm going to put myself in her luggage and just go with her. But thank you so much for your time today. On YouTube, we're going to be trying out some other times to see where it fits the best for your schedule. So you guys have a great day, and we will talk to you soon. All right? See you later, TikTok. See you later, YouTube. Thanks so much for hanging out with us for an hour and a half. Have a great rest of your day.